Hello, hello. I am recapping the horror movie Moloch 2022. So, where are we? We are in rural Netherlands. It is an European countryside, a swampy forest swamp, and it is a homestead, a solitary house in a swamp area, swampy forest. So, what we see at the start? We see a little girl playing with the mouse, her best friend. She's giving the mouse some cheese. The mouse is biting it and they're playing along. But suddenly, on the ceiling, something is banging very loud, like boom, boom, boom. What is going on? Blood starts dripping on the girl's head from the ceiling. She can't see anything, but knows that something is going on up there. So screaming starts like very loud, very crazy, like somebody's getting tortured, murdered probably. I have to say it. So the little girl closes her freaking ears. Blood starts going like a flute from freaking ceiling. It's crazy. And it cuts the scene. So what do we get next? 30 years later. We get 30 years later little text. So we warp 30 years into the future. And what we get? We get a grown-up woman. A young little lady, a blonde. And she's supposed to be the lady that was the little girl. Now she's grown. Her name is Beatrice, and she's in the homestead with her mother, with her father, and her daughter. So, we see her driving along the car. She sees a little homeless man walking in the forest. She does her thing, comes back home, and what? The nighttime comes. In the nighttime, we're just spending our time, everybody in the homestead, but we see a man outside of the window. Who is outside? Everybody is afraid to check out. They look again. They don't see anything. So they decided we won't go outside. Maybe something was walking, whatever. Let's go to sleep. So the morning came, birds are chirping, sunshine is like everything. And somebody's arguing outside. So Beatrice, or young mommy, goes out outside and sees that her father is arguing with some kind of a stranger. She comes closer. What's going on? And what she finds out? An excavation archaeologist team arrived on their spot, and there has been some digging work. So, what is going on? There is a digging excavation leader. His name is Jonas. We will call him Jonas. And he comes forward and says, I'm sorry, because one of my members was lurking at night around your house. And I will tell them not to do that again. So they cursed at each other, the father, a little bit of mini drama. The father is old and he likes to have some freaking fighting and arguing. So Beatrice kind of gets an eye on the excavation leader. She looks at him like, this man is not bad. So she does not tell him that, but they get a glimpse of each other, like some kind of early interest. So they talk a little bit, and the scene cuts off. What happened next? Beatrice drives along, and basically they get the news that the homeless guy that they know in the area, the one they saw walking in the forest, is found dead. So, very interesting. But nobody pays attention because the death causes hypothermia, so basically freeze to death. He's a homeless guy, so everyone's, oh, this is natural. So, that is that. And Beatrice, or girl, goes with the excavation leader to a bar, have a drink. They chat a little bit, joke around, play some pool, and go. When it becomes dark, they go outside, walk around that city. Beatrice tells him that she is being feared in the area because supposedly her family has a family curse. So she's always single. She had the man died some years ago, and she's always single. The excavation leader does not give a damn. Jonas like, well, yeah, you have a curse, but he continues talking. He has an interest to her, and he even offers her to go into his place for the whole night. So early, like A bold freaking move. But she's like, you know, disaster won't hit that early. You have to take your time. And they just say goodbye. And he looks at her. Yeah, it will take some time to get that. So, cuts off. Nighttime again. What happens? Everybody's home. And everybody's a little bit paranoid because last night they saw something. And they should be. Because Betrick goes outside to check on the father. Father is kind of in alert mode outside looking for the excavation team to not bother their area. And Beatrice comes back home, sees the door slightly opened, suspicious. She does not notice this. She just goes inside. Then she sees the light is left on downstairs, also suspicious. She just goes, turn off the light. And then she goes upstairs, but comes backwards. Did I saw something? She sees a freaking man, a stranger, in her house, in the kitchen, drinking her milk. And that wouldn't be such a big problem. But he has a knife on the table, near his hand. So he's not friendly. So the guy kind of looks awkward. Like something is off with that guy. And she is in adrenaline mode. She's like, you can stay there. You can drink the milk. I will come back just in a second. And the guy gets up with the freaking knife. And the Betrick runs to the stairs. Gets her mother. Somebody's in the house. So the mother, Betrick, and the little daughter, free against that one freaking knife guy. They have a fight. The knife guy almost penetrates the mom with the knife. Almost. Did not do that, but almost. Like in the mouth. The knife is going out there. But the father came from the back, heard the screams, and freaking knocked this guy out with a hammer in the back of the head. Chong! Chong! 2 times. He fell on the ground, blood all over him. But he's alive, just knocked out. So, everybody's super stressed out. Like super scary stuff. And the morning comes. Police, the excavation leader arrive, everything. They send the knocked out guy to the hospital. And the excavation team leader says, he was a nice guy. He's from my team. I have no idea why did he go into your house and try to kill you. So they have a little discussion. And everybody's confused. So it ended like this. Everybody's confused. So we're skipping scenes right now. It's over after the discussion. So everybody becomes suspicious. Why would an innocent man do such stuff? And they start remembering some kind of local legends about the god Moloch and the legend of Falke, some kind of a lady of a cult. And what's later revealed? The excavation team had digged up a bunch of corpses, all women, and all, what a coincidence, all with slit throats vertically. So a special symbol of some kind. And what we can understand, it's a cult. When everybody has the same thing, it's some kind of a following, a cult. Everybody has slit throats, sacrifice. So, suspicious stuff. Jonas, the leader, tries to figure out what is going on here. Tries to read the local legends, ask Betrick. And they go to a bar again. They drink the freaking alcohol. Jonas gets sick, pukes, they go out. And Jonas decides to drive her home with his car this time. So they drive, they get into an argument. Betrick believes in the supernatural curse stuff. Jonas does not. He's a science guy. So she gets angry because she thinks Jonas called her nuts for her believing in the supernatural stuff. She jumps out of the car, and Jonas has to chase her down like, Betrick, come here, where are you going? So eventually he catches her, like, Betrick, why are you doing this? And she starts laughing, like, and they go into a little thing that adults do when they're stressed out to reduce the stress. They do the wibbly wobbly in the forest, and now they are happy. They became a love interest. So, next, what we have going on. There is an upcoming festival called the Falke. It is like meant for the local folklore, the legend of the cult that has also slit throats and all that. So the festival began, an event. Jonas is at the festival. Beatrice is supposed to come to the festival also, but she's not there. And she's not picking up the phone. So Beatrice went back home, and there's some bad stuff going on in there. Jonas figured it out, that something's not right, and he also started walking on foot to her house because he has no car and he's drunk. So, at Beatrice's house in the swamp, the father that always been alert goes near the forest, and he has made sound traps over there, little bells ringing, and guess what? All the bells are ringing. So somebody's walking in their territory. So the father went into the deepness of the forest with a flashlight, and the blade is like, who is freaking walking in here? And eventually, he sees the spirit of his mom approaching him, a woman, and the father gets possessed. So Beatrice, her mom, and the daughter are in the house alone, and they see something's not right with their father, with the father of Beatrice, because he arrived at the door and he's looking through the glass like this, and wearing his freaking blade in his arm, just motionless. So the daughter is like, Mommy, something's wrong with Grandpa. And they look, yeah, something is freaking wrong. So the grandpa freaking smashes the door, tries to get in, does not work. So he goes from the other door. He gets in, and he tries to kill the mother of Beatrice, strangle her to death. But Beatrice smashes him with a giant spoon on the head. So he got knocked down. So everybody runs to all sides. The little girl is hiding in the closet. And what happens? We get a flashback to Jonas walking in the forest. He's coming to the house, but he steps on a bear trap and screams all his voice into the forest. It cuts off again to Beatrice. So, what's happening there? Beatrice is running upstairs, and the father that got knocked out with the spoon regained conscious, and he's not possessed anymore. He's himself again. So he's like, oh, what's going on? I'm gonna go upstairs. He went upstairs, and guess what? The mother of Beatrice, now she's possessed, and she has white eyes. So she grabbed the father with a rope and hanged him. He's dead, a casualty. And we see Beatrice in the corner, tied up and knocked out also. So it switches up. Beatrice wakes up in the bed, all tied up. And she's what? She sees with her eyes freaking like 6'10" cult members with masks. And in the middle is her mother. Is her mother standing. So she sees the blade in front of her. She's getting some kind of points. She's starting to understand something. She says, Mom, don't do it. And the mom says, everything's okay, Beatrice. This won't take long. And she gets the freaking knife and cuts her throat vertically. And this knife was like freaking, oh. So she cuts her throat. She falls to the ground. And what comes up from the ground? Some kind of a freaking ghoul woman comes out from the ground. A zombie woman, very like, ugh. She comes out. And she's like looking in the eyes of Beatrice and goes into her body, possesses her. Then we got to Jonas again. He finds the house, somehow gets out of the bear trap. He goes to Beatrice, unties her, and basically like watches her hug her daughter and switches up the scene. It changes again. So now we get into the future like few days later. And Jonas is sitting in a bar with the Beatrice and her daughter and talking to her. He has bought a new house, like everything is now good, and he offers her to come to his house with her daughter to live there. But he sees something's not right with Beatrice. She's not like she used to be. She's like a different woman now. She's all cold. And basically, when they say goodbye, because Jonas has to go on an expedition elsewhere, Beatrice picks up a sugar packet from the restaurant, like little pocket. And she did never do that. Like at the start, Beatrice, when she was dating Jonas, she told him, "My mom always picks up the sugar packets from restaurants. What a funny thing, right?" And now she's the one picking them up. So she walks out and Jonas looks at the sugar packet, looks at her, and he figures it out. So basically, the movie ends. I'm gonna break it down. This family has a curse. In the old times, one lady connected to the god Moloch of their own folklore, swamp folklore of Netherlands, and she wants to live eternally. So, what does that mean? She has to give sacrifices to the god to live eternally. So I'm gonna give it the most like simple explanation. Every woman of the family eventually kills herself so that their spirit could move on to their daughter's spirit. And when that happens, the next generation, new daughter gets born, so the mother again kills herself and goes to the daughter. So the sacrifice is given to the Malach god, and the spirit, only one woman's spirit, goes through all these bodies. Pretty crazy legend, like. So Beatrice is now not Beatrice, but the spirit of her mother is in Beatrice, and Beatrice is gone. And Jonas leaving the country. So that is the movie Moloch. Crazy. I had to watch it a couple of times to understand, more than a couple, because it is a very complicated story. But that is Moloch, a family curse, which basically we got at the start the scene where the little girl was hiding and something happening above her. So the little girl's mom was getting possessed and the grandmother killed herself. 30 years later, with Beatrice, again, Beatrice was getting possessed, her mom was getting killed herself, and her daughter was in the closet watching again the blood spill. So everything repeats, a family curse. Hopefully, somebody will understand. The movie itself, actors, they had a little bit of not natural dialogue. The horror aspect was very minimal. Like, there were good scares, but very, very, very little. So, I'm a nice guy for movies. I don't want to make them cry, like the owners of the movies or anybody that likes it. So, I'm giving this one a 3 out of 10 with all the good art, because it is an amateur movie. The idea is very interesting, but super complicated, and most people will not understand the movie. The acting was amateurish, a good first one, a good start. In the future, good for improvement, and I'm giving the critic 3 out of 10. So thank you all for watching. Wish you a nice day, and bye-bye.